All right, looks good. I think I'm trying to see if I even remember how to do this.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. Did it look good in the camera?
Yep.
All right. In 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? It's your boy. We took a hiatus, but we're back. I'm Anthony Rogers here with my lovely wife,
Morgan Rogers.
And this is Grey-Purview podcast, where we talk about all things gray, whether that's marriage, relationship, interracial relationships, race, church, Christianity, all those things. But yeah, that's what we do here. Like I said, we took a hiatus. It wasn't really a hiatus. We just got really busy. I got really busy in particular, releasing "Oh My Lord." Go get that on all. I mean, it's here. So I mean, it's not on the. If you're on the podcast, it'll be in the link in the description. But yeah, so that's kind of what happened. It was a huge release, and we were trying to do a bunch of promotion for that, and so that's a lot of. I mean, there may have been some other things going on too. Okay. All right. Well, yeah. So that was happening. And so, but we're back. We're glad. We definitely missed you. I feel like we kind of forgot how to do this a little bit. Like how I'm taking longer on the intro.
Yeah.
Supposed to be summing it up. But anyway, definitely want to plug the new song, "Oh My Lord." Go get that. But yeah, we're glad to be back. And we're going to jump right into our topic. Go ahead, baby. Introduce what we're talking about today.
Today we are going to talk about questions that interracial couples get.
We're going to talk about the questions that interracial couples get. Okay, and so what type of questions? I mean, guess I could preface it with, I think that sometimes when you're married or whatever in a relationship, you maybe get questions from whoever asking about maybe relationships and stuff like that. But I
think people are just curious sometimes because maybe they haven't ever dated another race.
Well, I was just saying it's in general, like if you aren't another race, like if you're just, yeah, I was saying like if you're maybe the same race and stuff like that, people will ask questions to, you as a married person because they just want to know more about marriage or whatever like that, or just what your marriage is like and stuff like that. I feel like interracial couples kind of get like questions that you wouldn't ask like same race couples. And I think that people don't even think about that. And I mean, I'm sure it's probably because they're curious, like you said, but it's just sometimes it's like daunting. And I also think that sometimes people feel like they're the only person that has asked that question. Like this is like a new question or something you've never thought about. I don't know.
I don't know either.
So, I mean, what would be an example of one of those questions?
Is that race the only race that you date? Do you only date white girls? Do you only date black guys?
Okay, you want to answer that first?
I get that question all the time.
Do you only date black guys? People have asked you, do you only date black guys?
Yeah. Have you ever dated a white guy?
Have you?
People ask that all the time. Dated? No. And
what do you mean? Why would you say dated? No, what else?
Like there are white guys that I liked and that I talked to, but I was not like actually dating them. But honestly, that's just a racist thing. That was not on my part.
Honestly, I just hate white people.
No, it was because when I dated outside of my race in high school, I was told very candidly by a white guy that no white guy would ever date me now.
Really?
Yeah.
That's wild.
And I don't know, it seemed to have at least been true in high school. And so honestly, it kind of just made me like, especially after I had Jaden, I was like, I don't even want to test that theory.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I
I
guess.
don't want to date somebody that may feel some type of way about having a child that's half black.
So you've only dated black guys?
After that comment, yeah.
Mm.
Well, I mean, I only ever, like I said, I only dated. I'm trying to think. I think so. I mean, dated like for real, like yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've never dated a white woman before. This was the first white woman I dated. I married, and so I don't know that I've dated outside of my race a couple times, but I mean it was and I guess it's outside of my race because it's I mean when people are mixed you have to identify their full self. You can't be like, well, they're black, So I mean I dated people who were mixed and stuff like Mexican.
Yeah, I did too.
Or someone
Like
who
half
was,
white.
yeah. I don't think I've even dated someone who was half white. Maybe. I don't remember. I dated a lot of people back in the day. Ish. I've dated more. I probably dated more mixed people than I have like straight one race.
I mean, you could also go into the conversation of like what's mixed even. Like I think we all are a little bit, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's just. I mean, for me, it's just when you have one parent that's predominantly this
Yeah.
and another parent that's predominantly that. I mean, yeah, for sure, we're all Indian.
Well, there's some people that are like,
all Native American.
I have black in my family, and it's like,
No.
I don't know about that.
No, sweetie, no, you don't. You don't have the black. You don't have the black in your family. Yeah, no. I mean, so for me, it was never really like an attracted thing. I mean, I was attracted to women, period. And so it was never like, I'm not going to date a white woman. It's just the context of where I grew up and who liked me. And, so I mean, there's been white women that I've liked or girls at the time. They weren't like women when I was young. I mean, anyway, that's neither here nor there. But I mean,
I don't even know what you just said. I like blacked out.
What?
I zoned out. Like I don't even know what you said.
What? Oh my God. You're thinking about the food.
Yeah.
We have food on the way. So she's
I just lost, like I was following you and then I just like lost it.
Yeah. So basically what I was saying was, I forgot. But dang, so I was saying like I've liked or I've been attracted to like white women or white girls, whatever. But I just it just never worked out where
you dated.
Yeah, where we dated or anything like that. And so I mean, but it was never like I had a preference of like I like this race more than that race. It was just like I liked girls who liked me and I thought were attractive.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's...
No, but has no one ever asked you that question? I get asked that question all the time.
Have I only dated white girls?
Do you only date white girls?
No one has ever asked me that question. Well, I think though, right? It's like you have Jaden. You had Jaden, and Jaden was, I mean, his father's black, and then me. So I mean, you already kind of have like a starting point with like a 2-person record. Where, I mean, for me, anybody that would be asking me that question would be someone who didn't know me, and to ask me if I only dated white girls would be like I mean, I'm married. It'd be different if we were dating, but it's
yeah,
like,
I guess.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, I don't know that. I know that people felt a certain type of way.
Well, we could then go into the next question.
What's the next question?
How does your family feel about that?
Is that another question?
That's a question that interracial couples get. Yeah, you should know. You're in an interracial relationship.
That is a question that we get. I think it's more daunting I think that could be a legit question for a couple outside of our experience. Yeah, because I feel like that could be something pressing. I mean, like I know black families that are like, nah, bro, like you marry into your race or whatever like that. Like you're diluting the race. Or I know people that'll say something like, what was it? Oh, where it's just like, oh, well, you don't like black girls because, I mean, no one has ever said this to me, but I know like people's families will, assume things or whatever like that because someone is, in this case, white, and be like, oh, well, X, Y, and Z, and this is who you are. And, and so then it's more of like a rebel thing to like date outside your race and your family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like you were taught a certain thing and then you're kind of like going outside of it.
Right. I mean, like, I'm sure like some people will probably like have heart palpitations if they bought home somebody that looked different from what was expected of them. And for me, that just wasn't the case.
Well, we had a conversation with an interracial couple that said that they had family members that had a problem with it. I'm not going to say who. We could talk about it after.
I'm sitting here
I'm not going to say on here. They might not want.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't
Our families, though, didn't have... it literally never came up one time in my family. Never.
I feel like if it came up in my family, it was more of how I was going to be accepted.
Like, is her family okay with it?
It was never like, were they going to accept you? And I never had that. That was never daunting or anything. It wasn't like when I called them, it was like, hey, so I'm dating a white woman now. Just
I don't even think I mentioned it. Yeah. Like what race you were.
I knew it wouldn't matter. I think my parents they were more for like, am I dating someone crazy or not? And,
yes.
And yes, I am.
And yes. Yes.
Yes, I am dating someone crazy. And so it wasn't it wasn't a huge topic of discussion in our house. It was just more of like, I mean, it was the stuff that was like for them was like the age difference and like the profession and stuff like that, where it's like, I'm a worship leader and my wife's a lawyer at a multi-million-dollar law firm. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, whew, like it was like, so what are you gonna do? Like, I'm gonna do what I do and keep doing what I do. And so I mean, like, that was more of but as far as like anything race related, it was more of like, and this is, I mean, mind you, this is like not knowing anything about her or her family, but just kind of some of the scrutiny and just I wouldn't necessarily say stereotypes because I think that it's real, but of some of the bias and stuff like that and stigmatisms that are attached to some white people, where, it's like, I mean, we lived in a world or a country that was like, don't you bring that nigger boy here, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like not knowing where that comes from or anything like that. I mean, like I think that it's a genuine concern on some level. Now, that's not to say that all white people are racist and biased and, what's the other word, bigots or anything like that. But I think that.
No, but if you're like my age, then your parents, the parents of that person, like that's my age, have been through a time where segregation was alive and well. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's
and even if they weren't like adults or anything in that time, they were like growing up in a time where that wasn't abnormal on some level, or it was just becoming like abolished. You know what I'm saying? Like they were in the downward phase of like segregation. I mean, segregation on paper.
Yeah. Well, then, do we get looks when we're out in public?
Oh, God. Of course. Oh, you're just asking the question. I really was like, are you serious? You're going to really ask that? Yeah, no, for sure we do. I didn't really notice that. Like, that's something I've never noticed. I feel like I didn't notice it because the way when we go out sometimes, people look at us as if we know we're together or like interracial.
What do you mean?
Like, it's like, I mean, it's like almost like, are they like, what are they? Are they together? Are they like talking? Is this like a business meeting that they're here doing or something like that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, like they're trying to figure out the relationship.
Yeah, like whereas if I was to walk in with like a black woman or whatever like that, the immediate thought would be
they're together.
We're together. And then like they may, if they're that invested in figuring it out, they would probably, oh, well, they're not holding hands or they didn't kiss or he didn't hug her.
But they probably wouldn't think about it beyond, they're probably together, and then move on.
Yeah, exactly. Step. Whereas like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes we just like looked at, I mean, I feel like I didn't notice it as much whenever we first got together, but then it was just like, sometimes, sometimes, I mean, if it's not super obvious, and to be honest, like I really just don't care, and I don't be like looking
I don't even
for it.
notice it anymore. I feel like I noticed it. I don't know if it's because like it's more common now than it was even just 6 years ago
Yeah.
or whatever. But I don't notice it as much now happening as I did in like the beginning of a relationship. Like I don't really think people do it often now. But maybe you.
I mean, no, I mean, it's like one. I mean, this year, 2020, he's been quarantined, so we ain't really been seeing nobody. Nobody's been
Yeah, I
able to
haven't noticed. It's so weird.
stare.
Nobody's looking
People
at you.
are zooming in to stare at us. No, yeah, but I mean, I don't know that I noticed it a bunch. Whenever we were out, I feel like you're probably right. I feel like there was a certain period of time where it was like a lot, but I also think that I attribute that to like being in the South too.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in California, like no one would bat an eye.
No.
It'd just be like, yeah. I mean, the first assumption would be they're together. If you're a girl or a guy, like you are together. I mean, honestly, if you're whatever, you're together.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say maybe not so much in the South, but I guess maybe not.
Yeah, yeah. And so it's like,
I mean, people can tell though we're together whenever Jaden's with us.
Oh yeah, I think that's like Jaden is like the
Unifier.
The unifier. He's like the glue. Like
but when
we're
it's
by
just
ourselves,
us,
yeah,
then that's when it's like,
everybody has questions.
are y'all paying together?
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am, come here. It's your turn. And it's like, we're together.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I don't know. I don't really think people give that much of a thought to it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like,
I mean, if whoever's asking that question, like, do you get dirty looks or do you get stares or do people look at you? Maybe you might be the one that's doing it because
I'm looking at you dirty.
No, but I just think that if you think of that question, you at least think it's weird or that society thinks it's weird.
Yeah.
And I didn't really realize that society still thought it was like that strange. Maybe it's my problem.
No, I mean, I don't think it's a problem. I think it's just, it is what it is. Yeah, so that's a common question.
Well, wouldn't it be easier to just date someone in your own race?
That's the stupidest question. I feel like that. I've had this. That is a question that I've had before and have talked to. I mean, not that like, do you only date something like that, but like I feel like one of the questions that I get is like the difference between what it's like dating a black woman and dating a white woman. And one, I think that you would have to. It's very individualistic, I'd say. I think that to categorize all white women as a certain type of way and all black women as a certain type of way, like that would be stupid. Like to say like, okay, well, because I've dated this black woman, I know all there is to know about black women. You know what I'm saying? I mean, granted, like I have a sister and a mother and stuff like that, and there are similarities. Like I'm not naive to that kind of stuff, but I also think that there are also differences between my sisters and my mom. Like even my sister and my mom, you know what I'm saying? They're two individual black women.
Well, I think marriage is like getting to know somebody beyond the cultural differences and beyond like, it's really getting to know the person. And although I think every person ascribes to some cultural norms, underneath all of that, each person is kind of like separate from it as well. And so I mean,
like there's definitely like cultural things that I feel like, whatever, like if like whenever I was with a black woman, I was like, okay, well, yeah, like I get this, that, and the other, but it didn't make them not get on my nerves any less. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Right. I mean, my thing is just like, there are things that annoy me and there are things that make me happy. And no matter what the color of your skin is, your race, ethnicity, or creed, if you do those things, I will feel how I feel. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're this way, then I'm happy. And if you're black and you do that, that's great. If you're white and you do that, that's great. If you are annoying or you get on my nerves, if you're white and you do that, okay. If you're black, you do that, okay. Like, I mean, so it's like, again, like, I'm not naive to, like, the cultural differences sometimes and stuff like that, but I feel like it's not a one uh, shoe fits all type situation. I mean, like, and even given the context of you, like, you're like, as far as like this, what the stereotypical white girl is like, or what is portrayed on some level, where it's this, like, I don't know, like, oh my god, and like all this other stuff and everything like that, and and like, it would be like, I don't know, it's just like, that's not who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like you're so far from, in my mind at least. I mean, outside of you being white and maybe, like, I don't even know. Like, I can't even, like, point at, like, I mean, because you just really don't be doing, like,
Doing
stereotypical white
white
girl
things.
stuff.
I'm like, what are you
I was just
saying?
saying, you just don't. I mean, I just don't see that. And then, but and so then people, will try to do. It's like a form of a compliment, but it's not. But I don't feel like it's really a compliment, because it's like she should be proud of who she is. Where it's like, oh girl, you not white, you black. Like, no, she's white. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I obviously I understand the intention behind it. It's like a loving thing to say.
mm-hmm. But I'm just saying, like, in my mind, it's like,
You should be able to
be who you are
and be accepted.
Yeah, I feel like it's the same way when people tell black people who speak articulately that they talk
Act
white.
white,
Yeah, or
yeah.
you act white, and it's like, no, you don't. You are articulate with how you speak, and you use whatever form of education or vernacular that you want to use. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not. I mean, I don't know. And I feel like that's just somewhat ignorant, but I feel like, just let people do what they do. And I know you're not offended by it, and I'm not offended when people are like, I am when people tell me that I talk white. Like, that's
People say that to you? Oh my God, I'm like really upset. I just got people say that to you, like, still?
Yeah, I mean, but it's never white people. It's always black people that
Oh.
say that. It's not like, yeah, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, if a white person would have told me that, oh man, that's a no-go. Man, you talk white. What the heck are you talking to? I would be more offended. But anyway, yeah, no, but anyway, all that to say is, like, sure, there's differences. Sure, there's similarities and stuff like that. I feel like the culture. I mean, it's not even like I grew up. Like, I feel like a cultural difference to me would be like if I was African.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like,
and had certain traditions that are completely not
Right,
normal
right,
in America,
right.
or not like a part of the American norm.
Right. And I think that you can have some of that, right, depending on your social economic level. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, if you grew up richer or wealthier, then it's like, your culture or your way of living would be like, I don't know, like vacationing all the time or going.
But that's not, to me, like, I think that's different than like like a religious culture, or like a I don't know, some sort of like culture as far as the town that somebody's from. Like, if you are, I think almost like Mormons marrying
Christians.
non-Mormons
Yeah.
would be like really difficult culturally, because there are just things that are required as part of Mormonism, and it would just be really hard. Whereas, like, oh, we like to visit the Hamptons not. It's like, I can get with that.
I mean,
like,
yeah. I mean, but I feel like that's true. But I feel like on some level, like, it's the expectation is different, right? If you get with someone that's used to living a certain lifestyle, and then you get with someone that's poorer or doesn't have the money to do that. I remember, like, the first time I went to Las Vegas, and it was like a big deal, like, going out of the state. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, if I was with someone who was just, like, that wasn't anything,
yeah,
then I mean, like, that would be a difference. And this stuff, like, because I mean, this is probably a episode later in and of itself, but I think that like, there are subcultures as a part of, like, you have the American culture, and then you have a bunch of subcultures inside of the American culture. And I think at what level you live in that culture, you'll be able to relate or not relate to some of the other things. And so I think subculture is important, and I think on some level it defines us, because I think in order for you to understand another culture, you have to understand that you are living in a separate culture, and then knowing where those cultures intersect and stuff like that.
But what is culture but experience with something? Like, isn't culture really just like
I mean, yes, I feel like it's just
an experience
it's
of different things?
I think it's a group experience of different things. I don't think it's just individual. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think an individual can grow up in a culture, but I don't know that an individual is a culture. You see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like the group is what forms the culture. So when they talk about like black culture, it's because of the group. But the thing is that even in what would be considered black culture, there are blacks who don't ascribe to that part of, like, that's not the culture that they grew up in
Because of their experience.
because of their group experience.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so,
Well, I think for me, it was not more difficult to be with somebody that is not my race, just because of, like, it's easier to have someone that can raise Jaden that knows things about being a young black boy that a white husband would not be able to assist with.
I never thought of that.
Really?
I mean, I never thought like, I wonder how he would be raised if she married a white guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, that would be like that may be more difficult for him in the family, like feeling like, I mean, we have the same last name. He does not have the same last name as us. And so that would be just another thing that I would feel like would maybe make him feel separate.
Do you think that maybe he would embrace his white side more?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. But he is both white and black, so
you feel like
I feel like I'm giving him a white experience. I mean, I don't know. I feel like in my side of the family, I'm doing my best shot, giving it a good effort.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Yeah, no. So I mean, overall, what was the original question?
Wouldn't it be easier to?
Oh yeah. So overall, it's like no. I don't know. Like, honestly, I don't know. Like, situations are so different, man. Like, there can be black families. Like, if you were a black woman, there could be a black family that would love you and everything like that, and then there's black families that would probably think that a worship leader job is trash and I need to go do something else, and I'm just this holier than thou person. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, it's. So then, no, that wouldn't be easier. You know what I'm saying? It's individual.
Yeah, and it depends on like the families as well. Like,
right.
I can't imagine having like a family that didn't accept something, or you kind of felt like you had to choose or navigate, like, oh, we can't be around them this much or whatever, just because of something as insignificant as skin tone.
Yeah, no. And so, I mean, like, I feel like as far as, you know, would it be easier or not? I don't know. Would it be easier if I had $1 million? Maybe, but I don't freaking know.
It might bring a lot of pride.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, everything can look greener on some level, but I mean, that's just a hypothetical question. It's hilarious because this would be the video where everybody like has comments. Well, maybe you could. What about if it was like, like everybody do like their what if scenarios and stuff like that. But I feel like,
what if you had one leg and you had to hop down the street? Right. It's like, what? Yeah,
that'd be very hard to do. But I think ultimately, man, it's like in any relationship, you're going to have problems and you're going to have drama and you're going to have misunderstandings. And whether that's because they don't understand the culture or they just don't understand your passion or they don't understand, why you wear your hair the way you do. Like, I mean, whatever it is, it's like, there's going to be issues, and so
yeah. So pick what kind of issue you want to have.
That's really what it is, though. That's really what it is. Is that as you're talking to people, or if you're in the dating process, you know what I'm saying?
Is that an issue? that you could deal with.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally what it is. I remember me and a friend of mine. Me and a friend of mine, one of the things we used to say, it was just like, all women are crazy. Just pick the crazy that you can deal with.
Yeah.
And I picked my crazy. I don't know that I can deal with this crazy, but I picked. But I picked and I chose. It's like, this was still different. It's different than all the other crazies. And so, yeah, I'm just kidding. Women aren't crazy.
Yeah, I was just thinking like.
I just roll my eyes. I'm just kidding. Women aren't crazy. Sure.
Men are crazy too, though.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. Yeah, you are.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna wrap that episode up here. But yeah, I'm sure there might be a part 2 to this. So tune in. We're so glad to be back. Glad that we are back. Almost didn't make it, but we're here, and so glad to be back. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Again, seen the new music. It's out. You've subscribed. You've already got a hint of that. Go listen to that. Turn it up. We're trying to hit 1,000. But yeah, like and subscribe to the channel. You can follow us on our social media. You can follow my wife at...
She's a lawyer on Instagram.
On IG. And then you can follow me on Instagram at whoisanthony. And then you can follow me on Twitter at whoisanthonyr. All of those links will be in the description, so don't waste your breath trying to find them. But we're so glad that we're back. We're so glad to see you this week. Hope that you enjoy your week and the rest of your week and the rest of your time, or whenever you're listening to this.
In your life.
All of your things. God bless your heart and all your parts. I have been Anthony.
This is Morgan.
And thank you for tuning in to Grey-Purview. Love you.